Hello everyone, Manithral here, and welcome to the weekly update video for OSRS. Now this week, gotta say sorry for the delay, but also we see a lot of League 3 changes, and they all are currently live. There has been no further updates though as far as any more fixes currently. However, the issues and hotfixes that were raised and fixed are at 12:30 GMT, Arclight doesn't work correctly with Twin Strikes, and 12:15, Catch of the Day does not work correctly with Personal Banker. 12:30 again, Slaying Green Dragons in the Wilderness on task does not complete League's task. And at 12:35, reports of the prerequisite parts. Monkey Madness 2 not working when auto-completing questing. However, the ones that are still being investigated, the level 5 and any role task in the Barbarian Assault doesn't activate when leveling up via the interface at the end of the wave. Saving charges on the Arcane Conduit spams the chat box. Dying from poison after exiting the Wilderness will result in PvP death. Certified Farmer doesn't work correctly inside the Vinery in Hesidius. So those last ones are currently being investigated. So there has been some new balancing, which it's kind of bittersweet if you ask me, because well, obviously the challenge was part of the whole thing, and this has made the challenge a lot easier, because now the new skill unlock cost is half of what it used to be. So if a skill was at 30, it is now 15. If it was 20, it's now 10. If it was 10, it is now 5. So it makes it a lot easier to actually get your skills unlocked, which is kind of nice, but like I said, it's kind of double-edged sword for me. The new boss unlock cost, they have also been dropped down. There is the 5 Sage Renowns, which is the Bryophyta, Espora, Ubor, Scotizo, and then you got the 10, which is your kind of like early bosses still, which is your Giant Mole, Grotesque Guardians, Calphite Queen, King Black Dragon, Sarachnis, Temperos, Wintertot. And then you got 15. Now keep in mind, this is per boss. This isn't necessarily, you get a whole category of them. This is per boss. So Giant Mole is 10. Grotesque Guardians is 10. And then 15 Sage Renown, that's when you start getting the bigger ones with like the Barrows, Dagonoth King's Next, Zolcano. 20 Sage Renown gets you to the Abyssal Spire, Cerberus, Kraken, Thermonuclear Smoke Devil. The 30 Sage Renown, that'll get you a lot of stuff like the Alchemical Hydra, Commander Ziliana, Corporal Beast, General Grador, Krill Susaroth, Briara, Warcraft, the Gauntlet, the Nightmare, Zora. 35, that's when you get the Chambers of Zarek and the Theater of Blood. Task adjustment are as follows. The Alchemical Hydra kills has actually been reduced from 500 and 750 to 300 and 500. Zarachnis went from 250 and 500, well, 250, 500, 750, to 150, 200, and 250. That's a substantial difference at the end. Mimic kills, which was 50 and 100, is now 35 and 50. Defeat the Demonic Gorillas, which went from 750 and 1000 to 500 and 750. Opening the Grubby Chest went from 250 and 500 to 200 and 250. Winter Toad kills, it went from 250, 500, 750, and 1000 to 225, 250, 300, and 350. Temperos went from 500, 750, 1000 to 275, 300, and 350. Steel Artifact for Captain Kalad, I'm actually glad this one changed, went from 250 and 500 to 225 to 150. Complete Farming Contracts went from 200, 300, 400, 500 to 110, 120, 130, and 150. Scotizo kills went from 75, 100, 150, 200, and 250 to 60, 80, 100, 125, 150. The Lizardmen shaman kills went from 2,500 and 5,000 to 1,250 to 1,500. The set effects also have changed a little bit, whereas the fast metabolism was 3 is now 2, Kraken's touch was 4, now 3, absolute unit was 4, now 3, knife's edge 4 was 4, now 3, the alchemist was 4, now 3, the craftsman 4, now 3, greedy gatherer 3 was 3 and now 2, greedy gatherer 4 was 4, now 3, personal banker 4 was 4, now 3, endless knowledge was 4, now 3, last recall was 5, now 4. Very happy about that one. There has been other Shattered Relics changes, so more banks will now correctly allow players to change fragments and buy quests. Added the Dragon Defender to the list of boosted item drops. The Slayer points earned by completing the portion of interest now count towards the relevant tasks. The fragment menu will now save your filter settings even after logging out. The area around the sage in which you can change fragments has been extended east to cover the waystone. Increase the value of the fragments so that they no longer disappear on the floor when fishing and cooking with a full backpack. Clan settings can no longer be accessed without a bank pin on League's Worlds. And they also added some activities per world, so it is now 401 Wintertod, 402 Fishing Trawler, 403 Temperos, 405 Pest Control, 406 Orani Altar, 407 Morton Temple, 408 Zolcano, and 409 is Barbarian Assault. There's also some more hot fixes, so they also fixed an issue where clue vessels from woodcutting and fishing were rolling incorrectly. Unlocking Troll Stronghold midway through the Death Plateau will no longer cause issues. Cooked fish that go into the bank will now count towards relevant tasks. Troll Blazer specific dialogue is no longer available in Shattered Relics. On the similar note, the World Hop warning message no longer references League's 2 Trailblazer. Players may now claim the Arcane Grimoire directly from the Sage. Poison status will now be reset between leagues. The Desert 2 bundle will now give players the Frozen Door task as intended. The Proflectional Fragment no longer gives incorrect XP rates. Please note that accounts with benefit from this considerably have had the XP they gained reset. Fix an issue where the debug messaging was being sent to players when opening fragments under certain conditions. The blast mine is no longer given incorrect XP rates. Using the coherent fishing fragment while the Karambwanji will no longer cook more fish than intended. Using certain items on items with cosmetic variants from the Shattered Relics will no longer cause unintended behavior. They fixed an issue where players were catching 1 minnow at a time instead of 10 to 14. Also, Greedy Gatherer was not calculating the correct values of fishing XP. Fixed an issue where fragments were being dropped into inaccessible locations if they were obtained at the end of an agility course with a full backpack. Golden Brick Road coins now are distinguished from other player coins. Removed a null error on the map button when world hopping. Cannons lost before the world reboot can now be reclaimed from the relevant NPC. When qualifying for a fragment drop, you are now likely to receive fragments you have not yet unlocked, rather than the ones you have already owned. Last recall will now teleport you to areas in Korund. So there's a new merch, Steamforged Games, coming, so this is going to be interesting. They're going to be having tabletop games around the world, but Steamforged are both creating a board game and a core book for tabletop role-playing set in Gillinor. Both will debut in 2022. So do check it out. It should be kind of interesting. The board game will be 1 to 5 players. It is a quest-based campaign through Gillinor. You'll be able to craft and upgrade equipment, learn and improve your skills, cook special recipes, engage with your favorite NPCs, explore different regions with a variety of enticing side quests to distract and entertain you on the way. And there's going to be miniatures. The tabletop role-playing game will be lavishly illustrated hardback core rulebook containing everything you need to run a campaign in RuneScape. So this is basically Dungeons & Dragons meets RuneScape. But do check that out then when it comes out. Additional changes are 2 issues relating to the unique drops from Nex have been resolved. These issues were an oversight in the release of Shattered Relics. Some players were able to unintentionally receive double unique drops from Nex. This was resolved via hotfix shortly after it was introduced into the game. An issue preventing some players from being eligible for unique drops from Nex has been resolved. This was resolved via hotfix earlier in the week. While the issues were fixed immediately after they became aware of them, they do regret not spotting them earlier and apologize to anybody who was impacted by this. They also removed duplicate settings in the setting interface. The iOS account deletion button now links to the web page specifically for iOS players with a simpler UX for requesting to delete or disable their account. This will still not appear in the Game Center accounts not linked to a RuneScape account. Players with a skill total of 1500 or more are allowed into Last Man Standing competitive modes, even if they lack the 300 quest points. So there is going to be different stages, if you will. Players with the buff bar disabled, but the show fragments button enabled, are now able to see their fragments. Corrected a typo in the Sage's dialogue, added more options for activities in the clan settings, including risk-free Ferox Enclave, added an in-game message relating to the filing the vessel of the spam filter, reduced the amount of players allowed into a Tith Farm instance from 3 to 2. And PvP World Rota has moved to Period B, which is now 560 UK PvP World, 579 US High Risk PvP, 561 UK Free-to-Play PvP, and 580 US LMS Competitive. World 390 AUS for LMS Competitive has been deactivated this rota. So, that's actually it for this video, so thank you guys so much for watching, and again, sorry for the delay today. But thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, later guys.